Howdy y'all. Here at Quip, we love our tactical gear. Love making it, and we just think it's freaking cool. But we also love another thing. We love our old tactical gear. So this is an old Pattern 83 battle jacket copy made by some random brand. It's kind of old. We've got a big problem here though. This hook and loop just does not stick. No matter what, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to be repairing it by replacing this hook and loop. So if you want to follow along, I'll show you the process of how one might go about this repair. Stay tuned. Alright, we actually need this on the table here. What we're going to do is replace this hook and loop. How are we going to get around inside of it? Well, there's quite a few layers on the inside here. So what we're going to do is remove the stitching along the side of the pouch, remove some of the stitching making up the divider, and then we can get at our loop panel here. Then we can just take this out, replace it, and sew it back together, and then sew everything else back together, and then bada bing bada boom, we will have our repaired product. Get out of here. So, for materials, you'll need, obviously, your hook and loop. You can get this at any fabric store. They should have what you need, and you can buy smaller quantities than this. These are pretty large, but you can buy it within half a meter, 1 meter, really whatever you need. So, you don't have to pay that much. What we're going to do is measure our battle jacket or whatever we're repairing and measure how much we actually need. We're going to cut everything ahead of time so that makes it a little bit easier when we get to sewing. Makes us think less. So let's get to it. Alright, with our jacket on the table here, grab a ruler and measure how much we need. We're going to have this material hide a little bit under this here. So approximately 14 centimeters. So all we're going to do is take our loop, grab a pair of scissors here. We're going to measure out 14 centimeters and cut. Perfect. If you need to replace the top panel, you're going to take these, and for the Pattern 83, it is 5 centimeters. We don't actually need it too exact, so I can actually use my cutting mat here. Bam. So now we have enough material to replace at least one pouch. Here we're at the sewing bench. This machine is obviously a bit bigger and a little bit stronger than most domestic machines. But for this kind of repair, since we're only dealing with about one layer of material, most machines should be able to handle it. But this is what I've got. So, plan of attack, we need to cut some of the seams. You can use a box cutter or a special sewing seam ripper. Use whatever one works. We've now successfully opened up the inside of the pouch here. So now we just need to take out this divider. Then we can get access to this panel here. Alright, I'm just gonna keep working away here. Alright, here we have the old loop panel removed, and you can go ahead and throw it out. It's pretty much useless. Ugh. And here we have the pouch panel here. We just want to clean up all of this excess old threads. We don't want it to gunk up our new sewing job here. Now that mostly everything is taken care of, now we can take our new panel and we're going to go ahead and install it here. So let's get to that. You can go ahead and be precise. You can use clips to hold things in if you would like, but as long as you roughly match where the old stitching was, you'll probably be okay. An important thing to notice is that it's going to get a lot of weird angles, so as long as you support the actual item itself so that the machine doesn't have to do any of the pulling, you should be okay. Don't forget, close your last stitch by going back and forth. Now that we're done with that, take a look at it, inspect it, see if there's any parts that you missed. If you did, go fix them, and if you didn't, bada bing bada boom. Now you're ready to start patching things up. You want to make sure you add maybe one extra set of back stitching and forward stitching, especially at high wear regions like here at the top, just to make sure things don't break. Alright, before we keep moving on, now that we have this divider stitched in, just make sure, test it with your magazines, just make sure it'll actually still fit. Looks like we're okay. So, put our magazines aside, and now we can finish up. We're just gonna put this pouch and sew it back on. If you'd like, you can use pins to hold things in place, but I like to live on the risky side, and I'm lazy, so I'm just not gonna do that. As these layers and all these corners get close together, it's gonna get a little bit messy. Things kind of bunch up just a little bit, so do your best, and as long as it's as good as it was before, you'll be alright. Because of the angle that would have to have the rig in, I'm just going to go ahead and stop the stitch here and actually tack it from going this direction because it's a little bit easier to manage. Ran out of bobbin thread, so I have to fix a little bit of the stitching down here, but should be okay. Now all I have to do is take a pair of scissors or snippers, whichever you have, and clean up all of this extra stitching here, or sorry, extra thread. Now we've finished sewing up our pouch, we've cleaned up all the excess that we can see, and now we just have moment of truth. Does it fit our magazines? That's one. That's two. Does it close? Voila. Now we have a nice working pouch and we have our old rig. Saved yourself a little bit of money and you learn a skill. Hope you guys learned something. Take care. Good.